What's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your boy Daniel. I'm here live from Birmingham, and my homie Cam. What you saying, Cam?
What's up, man? What's going on, everybody? We back once again with another nice show to provide for you guys with some information. So what's up, man?
Great fight happening.
Yeah, man. You kind of bailed on me last week, but that's all right, though.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm a uni boy now. I'm from the second city. I'm not a Kettering boy no more. I'm staying in Birmingham now. Started university, and now I'm a second city saint. So I'm a second city guy, and we had a lot going on. I had a lot going on with the move and everything. But my first night here, I watched the Anthony Yarde, Derek Spellman card. There was a few great fights on that night. You had Derek Bentley, and obviously topping it off, you had Anthony Yarde. So we're going to start off with that fight. Is that cool?
You can start off with that fight, but I got one question, man.
Yeah, man.
Yo, how is this dude, Jamie Quinn, 7 wins, 104 losses, and 2 draws, man?
2 draws.
He was on that card and he lost that night, so it's 104 losses. But to be honest with you, though, it's crazy because he has 104 losses and only been knocked out 3 times.
And you know why?
I don't know why. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring that up, but it's just like, yo, when they mentioned his record, I was like, 100 what?
No, but it happens though. It happens, and because he's only been knocked out twice, he's not a bad fighter. But when you're in the system, and he's not a bad fighter, but you know what I'm saying. It's I'm trying not to say the word, but he doesn't really.
I'm gonna tell you that something that was crazy about it, because they mentioned that a lot of his fights, that especially the ones that he's lost, is all last minute fights. Like he's there in the back, and he's there the day of the fight, and the fighter, didn't make weight or whatever the case may be, and like he just steps in and he fights but with no preparation for a fighter. So it's just like I'm not really gonna downplay him like that or
no, he's not a bad fighter. The fact that he's only got, the thing is, how he's not a bad fighter is because out of those 124 losses, only 2 are by knockouts. He can handle himself well. He's a good fighter in and of himself, but it's just the wins. He cannot go in there and win because that poses a liability. And what do I mean by that? When I talk about the system, I'm not talking about a crooked system. I'm talking about the journeyman system, a word that I didn't want to say, a journeyman system. And when you're journeyman, you can't. It's detrimental to your career to lose, because you're out there. You're supposed to give the guy. It's like, well, what was I watching? I was watching an episode of Murder, She Wrote, and one of the.
I'm listening.
And one of the things was one of the episodes was based around boxing, and there was this fighter called Blaster Boyle, and he was fighting. He was a top 20 against this Irish guy. And the thing is, in that situation against this Irish guy, he knew he couldn't win. He didn't even try to win. And Jessica Fletcher was asking why, because if you win and go for a win as a journeyman, no one will hire you again. As you can see, he's got 124 fights. You know what I'm saying? So that means he's very active, and that means people bring him along a lot because he is reliable. You know what I'm saying? Reliable to do what he's supposed to do, go out there and work the guy, his opponent, make him look good, but give him somewhat of a test. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Jamie Quinn's a bad fighter. He might have been better than some of the fighters.
In that fight, I don't even remember who he was fighting, because
his fighting is good.
It's a good up and coming fighter, but he was more of the story than anything to me.
But that's the journeyman system. It's not a bad system. It's not something that I look at as appalling. Not really. It happens. You know what I'm saying? If you are, these guys, they get paid. You know what I'm saying? And they do that. Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Some of them come to boxing very late. Some of them go in there knowing they want to be that, and just
Yeah, but let's talk about this Yarde fight, man. What you got?
Yeah.
What's your take on that fight?
So my take on this fight, this was obviously Yarde lost to Sergey Kovalev, the Crusher, and he had a rebound fight in Spain, and so Yarde was Yarde's success in technique and skills and everything was called out on that fight. He did okay in certain spurts, but I feel like this fight was, a lot of people said to him they haven't seen any new skills coming out of Yarde. They didn't see anything special. For me, I feel, and they said that he should have rammed through him, but I don't think so. I think, keep in mind, with the whole COVID climate, this was Yarde's first fight, real fight this year, and
Yeah.
so it was kind of dusting the cobwebs off. And what I seen in this fight was him gauging, the timing, the speed, the range, the power, and the reach as well, of both himself and compared to Spellman, and seeing and trying to pick up his shots. That's why it started off so slow, and this was just for him to get the motor running, get the engine up and running again. And then he kept coming in, and then every round that goes past, he kept ramping it up, and which obviously led to that knockout. Was the knockout premature? Well, not knockout, sorry, that stoppage. It was a TKO. Was it premature?
I say yes.
You say yes. It depends. Just because you get hit with a hard shot and you're still standing does not mean that you're fine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to
know,
me, it depends on how you're standing. Like if you get up, okay, fine. But like, I kind of hate to bring this up, like with the Jason Rosario J-Rock fight. When J-Rock got out, you could tell he wasn't there completely all the way. So yeah, you stopped that fight. But in this case, I believe the guy was there. Like he got up, he was ready, he was responding, he was ready to go. So, but what I did like about Yarde is you can tell that he was a little bit more methodical in his fight, and he wasn't trying to rush. He really wasn't trying to rush for the knockout. He was just trying to box first, but then he sort of opened in and he knocked him out. His conditioning was excellent. It was way better than when he fought Kovalev, which is a good thing. And he wasn't as tight. He was more fluid. He was more like like everything was just like his jab and everything was coming out nice and fluid, a little bit faster than the Kovalev, and he didn't look as robotic as he did in the Kovalev fight. So I think that was if he continues whatever training he was doing, if he continues to train the way he trained for that fight for the rest of his career and just keep adding on more, because his defense to me was a little shaky. Could it get better? But it was better than the Kovalev fight. Then we're gonna have a little monster on our hands. You're gonna have not a little monster because he's a 175. That's a big dude, man. You're gonna have a monster on our hands, man. So go ahead.
I liked him. He's using a lot of the Philly show tactics. I was going to call them the Mayweather tactics, but I'll give respect. It was the tactics that Floyd Mayweather made famous. With the shoulder roll coming up with an uppercut, the shoulder roll coming off with a straight right hand. He's using a lot of those. But don't get to Dex Melvin is not a bad fighter. There's certain levels to those fighters who are in the system. Some are in the system as the aforementioned fighter we mentioned earlier, Jamie Quinn, and then some are in the middle system. So they can change their careers around if they want to. Dex Spellman was kind of in that upper level of the system, and so he's not a bad fighter, and he is a guy who would go out there and try and make a win for his career. I'm saying he's got
he wasn't playing. He wasn't, like, you could tell when some fighters come to lay down, as we're going to mention later on, and you could tell when some fighters fight.
I know who you mean.
So this past Saturday we had a guy that both of us are very high on, by the name of Jaron Boots Ennis from Philly.
Ennis, Philadelphia. Some people call it Philadelphia.
Yo, he wasn't showing no brotherly love on Saturday, man.
No.
Yo, man, Jaron is 26-0 with 24 knockouts. And the third round, I believe, he caught Abreu with that uppercut from hell. I mean, he was boxing beautiful. There was a couple of questionable punches thrown by both fighters in that second round, where it could have been some low blow action going on, and Jeison just came out after that and just blasted through him. I mean, I think the fight was stopped in the 6th round or the 7th round. I don't remember, because I was watching the fight, but I was like conversating and talking at the same time too. But that uppercut in the 3rd round, I did not think that Abreu was going to get up after that uppercut. Okay. And then after that, it was just smooth sailing. The one thing I can say that I mean, Jeison Ennis has a world of talent. And I can't wait to, and I'm going to say this, I can't wait to see him fight some of the, like a top 10 fighter.
Yeah, top welterweight. Yeah, it's time for
I think he would need to fight a few top 10 fighters, and do good against them before he starts going after the Thurmans and the Earl Spence and the Worlds and stuff like that. But he's on that level. The one thing I didn't like about him, especially in that fight and some of his fights, is that he tends to play around a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like a almost, wait a minute, let me stop because he got hit too hard or whatever the case may be. And then he just comes in and he turns it on. I think if he stays focused for all 12 rounds, he's a problem. Like he's really gonna be a tough out. But if he stays focused for the whole fight, really gonna be a problem. I think he has like maybe the fastest hands in the welterweight division. I mean, it might be somebody whose hands outside of American American is on a whole nother level.
And besides
hand speed. But I think Jeison Ennis, like after American, I would probably go Jeison Ennis in terms of the hand speed. And that will take him a long way at that welterweight division.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. And the thing is with Jeison Ennis right now, he's outside of PBC. He's outside of the majors. I think he's got he's got a few deals. I've seen him on Showtime. He's outside the big stratosphere of Premier Boxing Champions. If anything, I feel like Essex Eddie Hearn should snap him up. Because right now building his he's building his American business, and I feel like he's a great free agent. I don't think he's a free agent in that aspect that he doesn't have a promoter, but his promoter may be small. I'm not sure his promoter is at the moment, but I know he's on Showtime. So so I feel like he's probably one of the best free agents right now. If not him, then I think he's probably one of the best free agents right now. It's Clarissa Shields. I think Clarissa Shields is a free agent. No, not a free agent. She's promoted by Staliatas Promotions or something like that. But you know what I mean. What I mean. And so I feel like for him to get those big fights, those arena fights in the big stratospheres with top 10 heavyweights, I feel like he should get some backing behind him. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that the little promoters or the little guys should be shunned out or anything like that, but maybe they could be taken into a management position and an advisory position. But I feel like in order for him to put the capital together, because to get those big fights in those big arenas, he needs substantial capital behind him. You know what I'm saying? And those are the only guys who have that substantial capital to be able to facilitate his career at that big stratosphere and to get him big fights with your Spence Juniors, your Danny Garcias, your Bam Bam Rioses, your Jesse Vargas, your Matt Villkorobovs, and that's a middleweight fighter. But you know what I mean? Yeah. And so if he's able to do that, he's gonna do great, and he's gonna make a ton of money.
I have to disagree with you.
On which front?
On him signing with Eddie Hearn, because outside of the WBO belt, which is with Top Rank, all the other belts are with the PBC fighters.
He could sign with Top Rank. He could sign with Top Rank. That's actually not a bad.
No. All the belts outside of the WBO belt is with the PBC.
Yeah.
So if you want to go after a belt, and you want good fights at welterweight, got to stay with the PBC.
Now, you know what? Screw, because I say if anything, get IBF to sanction your fights. Get the World Boxing Council to sanction your fights. Get the World Boxing Association to sanction your fights. Pay the fees, and then have them sanction you to a position where you're a mandatory. You know what I'm saying?
And all three of those belts.
That's the beauty of championship boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's what.
Yeah.
That's the integrity that boxing has that MMA doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
But
the U.S. World Championship is within the Ultimate Fighting Championships. The Bellator World Championship is within Bellator MMA. The World Boxing Championships are outside of the organization, outside of the promotional firms. And so I feel like,
that's a video for another time. That's a video for another time. Yeah, I see it. That's a definite. That's a must do. That people, if you like that, please put that in the comment section, please. But let's talk about the main event on that Jerron Ennis card, because he was the first fight on the undercard. And actually, another fight that was on that card too. I'm not gonna take too much time with that. Is a fighter that my sister, that's like one of her favorite fighters. King Tug was on that undercard.
Oh, okay, yeah, he was King Nyamba.
King Tug. I'm not even gonna try to.
You're not even gonna try.
But he was on that undercard and he won a 12-round decision. You know, he dropped the guy I think he dropped him twice in the fight. Once again, I apologize, people, because I was doing a lot of talking while I was watching the fight. Yeah. And the main event of that fight was Erickson Lubin versus Terrell Gausha, which was like a snooze fest. Erickson Lubin won a 12-round decision fight. I want to say, in my opinion, I would say maybe 11 rounds to 1, 10 rounds to 2. Gausha looked like he didn't really come to fight that night. Like, I got this check, let me just go ahead and let me just go ahead and collect this. I got a check, so let me just do my thing so I can make sure I did my obligation. And I think Gausha is a better fighter than that, but I just don't know what happened that night. Like, he just was sitting back waiting to counter Erickson Lubin, and Erickson Lubin was hitting and then getting out of the way.
Isn't he an Olympian? I could have sworn.
Yes, he is. He was on the Olympic team. He was on the Olympic team with Errol Spence Jr.
Errol Spence Jr. Yeah, in 2012 in London.
Yeah, he was in that Olympic team. I also think Marcus Brown was on that team. Clarissa Shields was on that team.
Yeah,
Rasheed Warren was on that team.
And E-Bunny was an alternate for that team. And who was the big guy? And the big guy who faced Joshua Wilder. Dominic Brisdale was in that team as well.
Yeah, he was on that team. So I was like, I expected a lot more from Gausha, Terrell Gausha, and it was just like,
oh well,
like I know he's a better fighter than that, because he gave Austin Trout a good run for his money.
Oh, for sure.
Even though that fight was a draw, but he came out to fight that fight, so it's just like. I guess because Erickson Lubin can hit though. Eric Lubin can hit, man. So sometimes you might want to maybe he was fearful of the power. I don't know, but then he put up the same performance against Erislandy Lara.
In Brooklyn. That was the fight that I was thinking about. He headlined that fight,
Yeah, and he did the same kind of thing against Erislandy Lara. He sat back and was waiting to counter. But Erislandy Lara was like, I'm not gonna give you a chance to counter me at all. I'm gonna pop you, I'm gonna move out the way. And he got dropped the first round against Lara.
Yeah.
Lara. But that you know how them Cuban fighters do,
Yeah, I know the Cuban fighters. I know them. Yeah. What's that? Man, I want to get in. I want to get into this sport so much. Because not just from a matchmaking side, should I say, not just from a matchmaking standpoint, but to be able to build and brand fighters much better. You know what I'm saying? I think about I feel like branding fighters is also in the matchmaking. If you matchmake them, for example, Guillermo Rigondeaux, if you matchmake him with cats like Naoya Inoue, that's a big fight.
It's a crazy fight. That's a
Yeah.
crazy deal. I mean,
Mm.
people who don't know, we talking about bantamweights. These guys are what, 118 or 122?
Yeah, well, 115 to 118, but about 118, yeah.
Okay, we're talking about two bantamweight fighters. I'm gonna probably put their name in the description when I put the video up. You guys got to check these two guys out, man. I mean, these are two little guys that can crack.
Right. Yeah. Now, even in the world, for the past 10 years, the world of not even hardcore fans, but some few casuals do know of both of them. Definitely Rigondeaux, but for the past 3 years, I can say a lot of people have been starting to notice Naoya Inoue,
Yeah,
and
because
he's
I think he's a two division champion.
not two. I think two. Super flyweight and bantamweight. I think he might be another one. I'm not sure. Maybe three, but definitely two. Definitely super flyweight.
Because I know his last fight was he fought Nonito Donaire with a broken jaw
Yeah, with a broken jaw.
and won that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he won
Like,
that.
yeah, yeah. And another a super flyweight fighter right here from Birmingham, a guy who I've liked since 2016. Just the year following the year I started getting into boxing is Cal Yafai. And Cal Yafai and Chocolatito Gonzalez and all these guys mixing it up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's not even the size. I feel like sometimes it can just be the promotion. If you do big things with these little guys, not only will they be big as well, but you just see some great fights because guys like Inoue, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if
Yeah,
Inoue
Inoue is
was
a bantamweight and he's 19 and 0.
19 and 0, 19 and 0.
Yeah, he's a two
Yeah,
division champion. He had the super flyweight, the super fly, and then bantamweight.
bantamweight, got you, got you.
Yeah, no, three division.
I
He's a
knew it. It
light
was a
fly,
light
light
flyweight.
fly, super fly, and bantamweight.
Got you, got you. Yeah, he jumped over flyweight.
Yes.
Yeah, got you. And yeah, no. That's good. You know what I'm saying? The Cuban fighters, especially in Rigondeaux. I think Rigondeaux ushered in that area along with Erislandy Lara. But yeah.
Yes. So,
Any
what you got on this weekend, man? How
this
you feel about Jamal versus Sergey? Oh man, Sergey.
Derevyanchenko.
Yeah, there you go.
Now Derevyanchenko fight is for the middleweight is in the middleweight division, and Jamal Charlo is for the middleweight championship is a
WBC.
WBC middleweight
Yeah.
championship, and the fight, I feel like the fight will be competitive, and I feel like it'll be a Charlo victory. Sergiy Derevyanchenko, obviously he fought Triple G. He lost to Triple G, but he's a good fighter. He fought.
He beat Triple G. He got robbed. He got robbed.
I refuse to speak without the presence of an attorney on that fight. But yeah, he fought Triple G, and whatever happened there happened, and and I feel like it's going to be an interesting match. I feel like it's definitely going to be a Charlo victory, but it's just like, how is it going to be Charlo victory? It's like when you see a movie, with the good guys, and good guys are going to win, but you just think to yourself, how are they going to win? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's going to be a competitive fight, ending with a Charlo victory, maybe by decision. I don't think it's going to knock him out. I think it's going to be a decision. And I feel like Derevyanchenko also is caliber for Charlo not to take very seriously. So I feel like Derevyanchenko, he's taking him very seriously as well. So yeah.
I got Charlo winning too, but I think Sergey is gonna push Charlos to his limits, man. He's not gonna come in there and lay down. He's gonna give Charlo everything that he got, and I think it's gonna be a very slim victory. But if there is a knockout or any kind of knockdown, I think Charlo can. Charlo is a very strong and powerful fighter. Like when you knocking people down with a jab,
Yeah.
I mean that's something great. And he has one of the best jabs in the sport of boxing, and one of the most powerful jabs in the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
So I think,
and that's something that he's training. He's with Derek James, right? Or is
no, he's still with
Ronnie Shields.
Ronnie Shields.
Ronnie Shields.
Ronnie Shields.
That whole camp, unit. They're very, very strict on their fundamentals, and so they're very strong on their fundamentals. You get a good jab and a good straight and a good hook. So it's not much with the that it's just strong with fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? You know the diff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to make this fight very interesting because both guys have very good, strong fundamentals. With Sergiy, coming from not Russia. Jesus, where is he from?
Is it Poland?
But from coming from where he's coming from, they're big on fundamentals. And then with his trainer being Daniel Jacobs' old trainer. Oh my goodness.
The name's there. I don't know Daniel Jacobs' old trainer. I
Oh
can't.
my goodness. Oh, why am I getting a brain fart right now? But and being trained in Brooklyn and having sparring sessions with Daniel Jacobs too. I mean, he's not gonna lay down, man. He's not gonna lay down. He's gonna come in. He's gonna give Charlo, I think, one of his hardest fights in his career. But I still got Charlo winning the fight.
Same. I still got Charlo winning that fight, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So now with we just talked about Jamel. What do you think about Jamal?
Jamal, for the fight with Jeison Rosario, I have him winning, and for another reason that I have Charlo winning that fight, the middleweight Jamel Charlo winning that fight is because he also won't take Jeison Rosario lightly. We've seen what Jeison Rosario can do. We've seen what he already is, but we also know what Charlo can do as well. And so with Charlo being around the block and having probably learned from Harrison, we're going to see him do good things, We're going to see him do good things in that fight. I see maybe a Charlo decision as well. I think it's going to be a Charlo decision. He might go in there, maybe give up 2 rounds, I think he might give up 2 or 3 rounds the most, but it's going to be uber aggressive. He's going to be uber powerful, with those single shots and maybe some combinations, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, to Jamel, this is who we're talking about now. That's the 154-pounder. I think I said Jamal, but Jamel is who we're talking about now at the super welterweight. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just sending a message to my mother.
I think I'm 50-50 with this fight.
Yeah.
I'm 50-50 with this fight. I think with Jeison winning the belt, he probably, because his last fight when he actually won against J. Rock Williams was the first time that he actually trained, had a full 12-week training camp. I think it was even 16 weeks if I'm not mistaken. And because before that he was just in shape, making weight to go to fights and just fighting for the money. But with him actually having a full training camp against J. Rock Williams, we seen what he was able to do. And I remember I rewatched that fight. And in the 3rd round, he took a shot from J. Rock Williams, the same shot that J. Rock knocked down Jared Hurd with.
Yeah.
When he fought Jared Hurd to take the title from Jared Hurd, he hit Jeison with that same punch. Then Jeison, and he took that punch, head turned, and came back like he was a poltergeist.
Yeah.
Now, Jamal hits harder than J. Rock Williams.
Yeah.
Much harder. If he hits Jeison with that shot, Jeison, his head might not come back. But then I also think about which Jamel we're gonna see. Are we gonna see the Jamel from the first Tony Harrison fight, or the one from the second Tony Harrison fight? Because if he comes out like he did the first Tony Harrison fight, I could see him losing that fight. But if he comes out like the second Tony Harrison fight, and even when he fought Charles Hatley, when he boxed his way to a knockout instead of looking for the knockout like he did in the first Harrison fight, then I could see him winning. But then with this, for me, I'm like, I want to say Charlo, but I can't say Charlo because I don't know which Charlo's going to show up. I like Charlo.
I feel like The first Harrison Charlo won't show up. I feel like that was then. He's learned from that. And I feel like moving on is going to take it more serious in the capacity of that. He's not going to leave anything out. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to leave anything out, anything to the judges. He's not going to rely on just going straight forward with that mad power. He's going to be calm with it. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make sure that he does it. He comes first. He's sharp and he comes first. So yeah.
Yeah, but yo, Jeison Rosario is a strong fighter, man. Like, he got power in both hands. He can take a punch. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm torn. I'm torn in between the two. Like, I really can't say who, because I mean, to get the belts is one thing, but to keep it is another thing. And Charlo's, he's been around the block, and even though he lost to Harrison, he still was able to keep that he still got it back. And with Jeison Rosario, it was just like, I don't know, like, is he gonna be like, all right, I got the belts and I want to keep it, or is he gonna be like Andy Ruiz and be like, I got the belts, I'm on top of the world, and let me just. That's why I'm kind of torn, because it's just like, yo, like, I can.
So his character.
His character, and it's just like, yo, I like the Charlo twins. Like, a lot of people don't like the Charlo twins, and I like the Charlo twins. I like their boxing ability. I've met them in person. They're some people, but to me, they're just, I don't know. I just like them. I like them. But I'm not gonna take my like for the Charlo twins and be like, I think he's actually gonna have a problem on his hands.
Cool.
So I really can't pick a fighter. I can't pick for this one, man.
It's gonna be a great fight, and the thing is, especially on one telecast, Premier Boxing Champions, as great as it gets in North American boxing, I feel like it's gonna be great. It's great challenges for both brothers. Seldom do you see that. You know what I mean? Seldom do you see great challenges for both brothers in one night, and it's a great venture into pay-per-view for them. And so I think this is the best platform and the best way to do it. But that's this weekend, and yeah, it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, I just want to see them come out on top, man. I do, but it ain't gonna be a walk in the park for either one of them.
Not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be.
All right, man. So
thanks for your body. Let me show you from Birmingham. I am DMT. I'm Daniel.
And this is Cam cashing out, and I will put those names and links for everybody. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave comments, good or bad. We take it as it comes. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.